So this is fantastic. I love to see all of you guys. And I realized that I'm not going to see all of you. I'm not going to see
You're
all
not
of you
kidding.
in shul on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Hi, Bill. And it's an opportunity for us to at least sing the melodies that we like so much and gets us in the mood for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And when I was going through all the melodies that all the repertoire that we have here at Bet Jacob, I realized we have a lot for the Chagim, really a lot of melodies. And so I decided to tonight we're going to dedicate to the melodies of Rosh Hashanah. And after Rosh Hashanah, we're going to have another session like that for specifically on the melodies for Yom Kippur. Okay, so today we're gonna try to delve 14 melodies, I think, or so, and that from the Rosh Hashanah repertoire. So I want to put things just in context. You know that, and the question is, the obvious question is, why do we sing even in shul? But where this is coming from, right? Where this is coming from? If you ask, if you walk into a shul in the 15th, in the 16th, in the 17th century, you didn't hear any singing. You didn't hear any singing. However, if you look at the sources, you'll see that song has always been an essential part of Jewish prayer. The Mishnah already states that most of the sacrifices were accompanied by music and songs that were performed by Leviim. And so, since the destruction of the temple, where this sacrificial, where the avodah, where the animal sacrifice was replaced with tefillah, so we express it with songs. And it used to be that if you wanted to daven in a shul that actually sang, then you had to go to very few shuls. You had, if we're talking about in the early 1900s, for example, it was revolutionary that in 1915, the Young Israel movement made a decision to have congregational singing. That was a revolution. That was like the first time that something like that happened. How do I know that it was 1915? Because I met a guy when I came to my previous role in Connecticut in 2001. He was already about 103 at that time. And he was actually at that convention of the Young Israel movement. So he told me that that it was done back then. And then basically up until the 60s, the late 60s, most of Orthodox schools did not embrace the concept of congregational melodies. Today, of course, things are different, and most Orthodox congregations incorporate congregational singing, and it's a central part of our tefillot. So I honestly believe that the Chazan's role is to lead the congregation in partnership, where each, you know, it's a partnership where each needs to fulfill, you know, it's I have to lead you and you have to participate with me. It's not like that I'm singing on my own, because it's just not, it's only boring. It's just that I don't believe in this idea of passive congregation, and thank God we have very, very active congregation here in Beth Jacob. What I would like to do is, I would like to kind of start to warm up, and let's go into the first song. We're going to talk a little bit more, but what's the first? So the first one is actually a nigun. That's the opening of the Rosh Hashanah, right? We start the Mariv service Friday night, this coming Friday night, we're going to start it. The first thing I'm going to sing is, ah. So it's going to be a melody that everybody recognizes, and kind of puts you right there in the mood for Rosh Hashanah. And I think this melody is majestic, and it's just awesome, and just like so fitting for Rosh Hashanah on the day that we declare that God is our King. Something is first one. Okay, so that was the first one. Just look more majestic way with the organ. And then we're gonna go into the second one.
Sorry, Arik, if you want to hear the link, I can play the link if you let me share the screen. I can play that.
It's fine. I think Benjamin. I think we solved the problem, right, Benjamin?
Okay.
Right. Okay. So let's hit the second one. Please sing with. Let's sing together.
Beautiful.
So if I ask you, what is the melody? What's your favorite melody? Of the high holidays, and I think that a lot of you are going to say Zochreinu. And for Zochreinu, which comes in the very beginning of that's our next piece. That's going to be the third piece. It comes at the kind of the beginning of the Amidah, and we say it every day from Rosh Hashanah until Yom Kippur. And actually, that melody it's an oldie that we use here in the shul. I think it's a beautiful melody. There are other melodies, for example, Zochreinu lechaim melech hafetz b'chaim, or many others. But we, I don't know. My hunch is I really like this melody. So let's go into this Zochreinu.
זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, וכותבנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. בחיים וכותבנו בספר החיים למען האלוהים חיים.
Ari,
Yes.
can you tell us something, not that we know who the composers were, but how old they are, and I don't know.
We're gonna try. Some of the stuff we have the information, some of the stuff we don't have. The Ma'ariv Nigun is something that is very, very old in our tradition. It's one of those things that we call Sinai. Obviously, it was not given to us in Sinai, but it's something that we consider very, very dear to us, as if it was given to us at Sinai, and that goes back hundreds of years. The El Melech, meaning the Mochel Avonot Amo, that's a melody that's probably like my estimate is somewhere in the area of the 60s and the 70s, somewhere in England or in South Africa, something in that area. It comes from that tradition. The Zochreinu is it's probably a melody that already started in Europe, what we called old school, and it's actually based on a Yiddish song. So there's a Yiddish song that's called Zochreinu L'chaim. Hirschman sang that, I think Rosenblatt sang that as well, and it has that little melody inside. And what happened was that this little melody made its way into the tefillah, and obviously without the rest of the lyrics in Yiddish. The next one that I want to do, number 4, is a piyut, a poem. And as you know, most of our congregation singing are piyutim, the poems that we use, that we have during Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, mainly during the repetition of the Amidah. And this year, if you're going to join us, some of you are going to join us in person for the tefillot. And what you're going to see is that because of the conditions, because of safety, and because of restrictions of space and all that kind of stuff, we have decided to shorten our tefillot significantly. And by doing so, we cut a lot of the piyutim, a lot of the poems. So that means a lot of the melodies that we love so much and like to sing every year, we're not going to sing them, we're not going to recite those piyutim because of the conditions, the unusual, crazy conditions that we have this year. And this particular piyut, V'chol Ma'aminim, based on the guidance of Rabbi Top, and the decision was that this one is one of the only piyutim that we're actually going to sing. We're going to have V'chol Ma'aminim in our tefillah, in Tfilat Musaf, and V'chol Ma'aminim, and all those who believe Shehu El Emunah, that God is the God of truth and Emunah, and it's a poem that goes through the entire Aleph Bet, and it's a really magnificent poem. And we chose a very peppy melody to accompany this melody, and I hope that you're going to join us. Let's sing together V'chol Ma'aminim. It's going to be fun. Okay.
וכל מאמינים שהוא אל אמונה בוחן ובודק גנזי נסתרות וכל מאמינים שהוא בוחר אל כליות הגואל ממוות ופודה משחת וכל מאמינים שהוא גואל חזק אדן יחידי לבאי עולם וכל מאמינים שהוא דיין אמת הגוי אשר אהיה וכל מאמינים שהוא היה שמו כן תהילתו, וכל מאמינים שהוא ויבן בלתו, הזוכר למזכיריו טובו זיכרונות, וכל מאמינים שהוא זוכר הברית, החוטא חיים לכל חי, וכל מאמינים שהוא חי וקיים, הטוב ומיטיב לרעים ולטובים, וכל מאמינים שהוא טוב לכל, היודע יצר כל יצורים, וכל מאמינים שהוא יוצרם בבטן, הכל יכול וכל אליו יחד, וכל מאמינים שהוא כל יכול, הלן בסתר בצל שדי, וכל מאמינים שהוא לבדו הממליך מלאכים ולא המלוכה, וכל מאמינים שהוא מלך עולם הנוהג בחסדו כל דור, וכל מאמינים שהוא נוצר חסד הסובל ומעלים מים מסוררים, וכל מאמינים שהוא סולח סלע העליון ואינו אל יראיו, וכל מאמינים שהוא עונה לחש הפותח שער לדופקי בתשובה, וכל מאמינים שהוא פתוחה ידו הצופה אל הרשע וחפץ בצדקו, וכל מאמינים שהוא צדיק וישר הקצר בזעם ומעריכה, וכל מאמינים שהוא קשה לכעוס הרחום ומקדים רחמים לרוגז, וכל מאמינים שהוא רך לרצות השווה ומשווה קטון וגדול.
That was fun. The next melody is something that I'm proud to say that I brought to LA.
I love that.
Thank you, Alice. I'm proud to say that the next melody is something that I brought to LA. It's the Ochila. So this particular melody was composed by Rabbi Hillel Palai, an Israeli composer, rabbi, and it became extremely popular in recent years among synagogues in Israel. The verse is written by unknown poet. It was adopted both by Ashkenazi and Sephardi communities, which is interesting because a lot of the piyutim are different between the Ashkenazi and Sephardi communities. Now, when I introduced this melody, my first year here, it instantly became, I think, one of our congregation's favorite melodies. The poem itself, the piyut, traditionally is sang by the chazan. It's called, that type of piyut is called the reshut. It's a permission that the chazan asks. It's a personal request asking God for eloquent speech and hope for being able to properly voice the congregation's feelings. And following this approach to tefillah, where the chazan and the congregation are partners, I've decided to sing this powerful melody together with the congregation and not alone. The nusach for Ochila was Ochila la'el achalefanav eshala mimenu mane lashon. Everybody goes ah, and so on and so on. And instead of doing that type of solo singing, I decided to bring the entire congregation together. And I'm very, very happy that not only became a favorite in our congregation, but also other communities here in LA adopted that beautiful melody. So I'm going to ask Benjamin now to help us transition to Ochila, which is our fifth
Keep it in the Hebrew.
Please sing with us. Wait. Okay.
אוכיל על הקל, אך לפניו, אשלם ממנו מענה לשון. אוכיל על הקל, אך לפניו, אשלם ממנו מענה לשון. אשר בקהלם השירה עוזו, הביע רננות ביד מפעליו. אשר בקהלם השירה עוזו, הביע רננות ביד מפעליו. לידם מרחי לב, ומיד השם מענה לשון. עד השם שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. לידם מרחי לב, ומיד השם מענה לשון. עד השם שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. אוכיל על הקל, אך לפניו, אשלם ממנו מענה לשון. אשר בקהלם השירה עוזו, הביע רננות ביד מפעליו. לידם מרחי לב, ומיד השם מענה לשון. עד השם שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. לידם מרחי לב, ומיד השם מענה לשון. עד השם שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך.
So if
Shkoyach.
I ask you, what is the what is the you know, the most powerful piyut in or a part of a liturgy that in the Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, I think that most of you are going to say Untane Tokef. And indeed, Untane Tokef is coming soon, but leading to Untane Tokef, we have, I lost my my paper here with the order of the pieces. So why don't we go, Benjamin, what's our next one? Can you bring it up? Okay, so it's Micha Mocha. So if you remember, this is a little tiny melody that I happened to fall in love years ago, and I brought it to the show, and I think it kind of like people got into that. It comes after the Zochreinu. So let's play it. Let's sing it together because this one is essential part of our Amidah.
מי כמוך ברחמים, זוכר יצוריו לחיים ברחמים. מי כמוך ברחמים, זוכר יצוריו לחיים ברחמים.
Adam, Adam, יסודו מעפר. Beautiful.
So as you remember, probably right after that, I goes into ונאמנתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה השם מחיי המתים. Right? Okay. Our next piece is, I've been told, is Areshet. Now, when it comes to Areshet, we're going to sing Areshet this year, only one of the days. We're going to sing it on Sunday because we do not, we don't say it when we don't, actually we, you know, when we don't blow the shofar, and since the first day is going to be Shabbat, we're going to sing it on Sunday. And there are a lot of melodies for Areshet. I think the melody that I chose for Areshet for our congregation is an oldie one, but it's a lot of fun. I think it was Hirschman, Chazan Mordechai Hirschman, that recorded it the first time. So please join me. And as you know, Areshet comes 3 times after the 3 blessings of the Musaf section. We have Malchuyot, Zichronot, and Shofarot. We have 3 sections, middle sections in the Amidah. And Areshet comes in each of those times. Therefore, it's being repeated 3 times throughout the Musaf of Rosh Hashanah.
הרשת שפתנו ירב לפניך, ירב לפניך. הרשת שפתנו ירב לפניך, אל רם וניסן. מבין ומאזין, מביט ומקשיב, לכל תקיע, ותקבל ברחמים, ברחמים וברצון, ותקבל ברחמים וברצון. סדר מלכויותינו.
Okay, I'm going to ask Benjamin to bring up the next one. And this is, okay, who knows like where this line is taken from? This line is taken from, of course, the middle of Untane Tokef. So if we talk about Untane Tokef, this emotional poem written by Rabbi Amnon of Magenza in the medieval times, describing the day of judgment in the heaven, and it's become the highlight of our high holiday services. Throughout the years, numerous compositions were written for this poem, for this piyut, and it was very, very difficult for me to choose one. And it occurred to me that since this piyut is everyone's favorite, I had to find a way where everyone finds a suitable musical representation of his or her emotions. Understanding the diversity within our synagogues, this was not an easy task. And so I've decided to mix several compositions and styles and create a tapestry that is truly representative of our shul. We're not going to go into the entire composition, but I think that the most powerful line is this one that we all sing together, and it repeats several times. Just to put things in context, when I open, if you remember, I start. So this melody, I opened with this startling tune that was written by Yair Rosenblum, a member of Kibbutz Beit Hashita in Israel. And Rosenblum, writing as a response to the trauma of the Yom Kippur War, where many of the sons of the kibbutz lost their lives. And once he said that even though he's not an observant person, the only text powerful enough to describe his feelings was the one of Untane Tokef. Then I switch to different tunes, and I go to taking basically the highlights from about 7 or 8 other compositions to create some sort of a tapestry. And of course, when I had to incorporate a very famous melody by Yosef Rosenblatt, known as the Chazan of all Chazanim, the melody that Kevakarat, 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 Royegadero, Mavir Mavir Zono, Mavir Zono, Tahavat Shivto, Tavir. Okay, so this is also a very famous melody, one of them that I incorporated into this very long Untane Tokef that we do every year. Of course, this year is going to be different, but I want to take from Untane Tokef, I want to take this line of Berosh Hashanah, and please sing with me. That's the essence of this piyut. Berosh Hashanah Yikatevon, on the day of Rosh Hashanah, everybody is inscribed, and Uvyom Tzom Kippur Yechatemon, on the day of fast, the day of Yom Kippur, when we fast, we are also sealed, hopefully, for good, healthy life.
בראש השנה ייכתבו וביום צום כיפור וביום צום כיפור וביום צום כיפור ייכתבו וביום צום כיפור וביום צום כיפור וביום צום כיפור יחתמו בראש השנה ייכתבון וביום צום כיפור Kippur Yechatemon V'yom Tzom Kippur V'yom Tzom Kippur V'yom Tzom Kippur Yechatemon.
And if you remember, we go and we repeat that melody several times. I want to go now to Hayom Harat Olam, which is the piyut that we sing right after the Tkiot Shofar every time they come during the Chazarat Hashatz, during the repetition of the Amidah. So after the Tkiot, we have, at the end of each section of Malchuyot, Zichronot, and Shofarot, we have Tkiyat Shofar. And after the Tkiya, we sing Hayom Harat Olam, and then later on Areshet, the way we sang it. So Hayom Harat Olam, it was interesting. There aren't many melodies, congregational melodies for Hayom Harat Olam. And what occurred to me is that we have a beautiful melody that we're going to sing it later on that everybody knows. It's kind of like everybody's favorite melody of Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu. However, it comes only once, only at the end of Avinu Malkeinu on Rosh Hashanah. And some of the years, like this year, for example, we do not recite Avinu Malkeinu on Shabbat. So we're going to recite only on Sunday. So I said, this is kind of a waste, not use that melody that everybody loves so much, and not be able to use it more. And what I decided to do is to take Hayom Harat Olam, the text of Hayom Harat Olam, and attach to it the melody of Avinu Malkeinu. Okay, and that's the way we've been doing it since. So let's jump right into that and sing together.
Hayom Harat Olam, Hayom Yamid B'mishpat, Kol Yetzurei Olamim, Im Kevanim, Im Kavadim, Im Kevanim Rachameinu Kerachem Aval Banim, Ve'im Kavadim Eineinu Lecha Teluyot, Ad Shetechoneinu V'totzicha Or Mishpateinu, Hayom Kadosh, Hayom Harat Olam, Hayom Yamid B'mishpat, Kol Yetzurei Olamim, Im Kevanim, Im Kavadim, Im Kevanim Rachameinu Kerachem Aval Banim, Ve'im Kavadim Eineinu Lecha Teluyot, Ad Shetechoneinu V'totzicha Or Mishpateinu, Hayom Kadosh.
You know, in a discussion in a program that we had, I think the discussion was yesterday that I participated, and also a program that we had last week with composer Steve Rothstein. We talked about this melody of Avinu Malkeinu, and he said it's so powerful, it's so Jewish, that he felt also that he's got to be part of his symphony among other melodies, but he just felt that this is like almost the essence of the high holidays, that melody. And indeed, it's very, very, it has that Jewish sound. Ta ta ra 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 ra, which is, sometimes can be perceived as kind of
Yiddish.
not Western or perhaps kind of interesting Eastern sound that we have. And of course, we know that the Jewish music is influenced by a lot of other factors, and it's not exactly written like regular Western music. I want to jump into the end of the Amidah. At the end of the Amidah, at the end of Sim Shalom, we have an addition to the Yamim Noraim. And this is one of those additions that we add every time in every tefillah for 10 days. Besefer Chaim Bracha V'Shalom. And again, it's one of those places in the tefillah that there's so many melodies. Besefer Chaim Bracha V'Shalom. Or millions of other melodies that were written for that text. And what I've decided to do in this, I decided to go with the happiest and the peppy, very peppy melody. Not only because it's the end of a long service and everybody feel okay, finally he's going to shut up and we're going to go home. But also it's just like a combination of all our, I felt like all our hopes and our dreams and all our prayers, and we're happy because we are, we did everything that we need to do, and we have confidence in God. We have bitachon in HaKadosh Baruch Hu that actually is going to inscribe us to a good life, to a year of good life. And so it felt to me natural to choose a very peppy melody. If I'm going to ask you, Benjamin, to bring it up. Besefer Chaim, please sing with me.
בספר חיים ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה ניזכר וניכתב לפניך אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל לחיים טובים ולשלום אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל לחיים טובים ולשלום בספר חיים ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה ניזכר וניכתב לפניך אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל לחיים טובים ולשלום אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל לחיים טובים ולשלום.
And of course, this melody takes us immediately to the next one, to the next piece that we are, as you can see actually in the slide, L'chaim tovim u'shalom, and then ונאמר כי בי ירבו ימיך ויוסיפו לך שנות חיים, and it goes right into Hayom. Now Hayom is like everybody's favorite piyut, because it's always fun. It's at the end. You repeat Hayom, Hayom, Hayom. There's like so many melodies. Everybody's happy to sing it. Hayom, 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 or many, many, many other melodies. But the one that I chose for our congregation is the one that was written by Cantor Shmuel Malawski. Now, if you never heard of the Malawski family, it means that you were not around in the 50s and the 60s. The composer of this beautiful tune, Shmuel Malawski, very famous cantor in his own right, but together with his sons and daughters, turned extensively throughout the Jewish world and creating musical hits and great confusion at the same time. Shmuel Molavsky was born in the Ukraine in 1894, and at the age of 20, he immigrated to America. And his talent as a cantor was recognized by the famous Chazan at the time, Yossele Rosenblatt, who adopted Molavsky as his protege. And Molavsky was a cantor in numerous Orthodox communities and recorded many solo cantorial recordings, and to get a lot of duets also with his mentor, with Yossele Rosenblatt. Beautiful, warm, expressive, and emotional voice, and he was talented composer and a gifted improviser. And when his children grew up and his sons returned from army service during World War II, Chazan Molavsky decided to appear together with his family, creating a choir from his two sons, Avraham, Albert, and Morton, and his four daughters, Goldie, Gittel, Ruth, and Minnie. And this was a bold step for a cantor who declared himself to be Orthodox, since the idea of women cantor was considered counter to halacha, at least at the time, without getting into a whole halachic discussion today. A lot of the Orthodox synagogues refused to allow the Molavsky family to appear together with the daughters. On the other hand, Molavsky refused to accept a cantorial appointment in a conservative synagogue. So instead, what they did is they appeared and rented halls and hotels. And they first appeared in San Francisco in 1945, and later throughout the United States, performing cantorial music, Jewish jazz songs, both in Hebrew and in Yiddish. And Goldie Molavsky was actually the soloist. She established her own independent career as a singer, appearing both as soloist as well as duets with her sister Gittel. And she became well known as a chazante, even though she never appeared in a formal role of a cantor in a synagogue. They were a huge hit. And actually, a story that happened in my previous role in Connecticut, the Molavsky family appeared there, and the agreement was that the girls, the daughters, are not going to have any solo part on that Shabbat. And what happened was that just before the Amidah in Shacharit, Gittel stood, she got up, and from the women's section, she started singing a solo piece of Tzur Israel. It was one of her very famous pieces. And of course, some people from the shul left, and there was a breakaway from the shul, and that was the beginning of Young Israel of Stamford, Connecticut, because of that incident with the Molavsky family. So it's interesting, just an interesting footnote. I chose for Hayom a beautiful melody that I came across when I was, I think, 5 or 6 years old. And since then, I wanted to do that. And it became a hit, I think, and our congregation likes it. It's Hayom by Molavsky. Let's sing together.
וירבו ימיך ויוסיפו לך שנות חיים לחיים טובים תכתבנו אלוקים חיים וירבו ימיך ויוסיפו לך שנות חיים לחיים טובים תכתבנו אלוקים חיים כותבנו בספר החיים כותבנו בספר החיים כותבנו בספר החיים כותבנו בספר החיים ככתוב ואתם הדבקים בה' אלוקיכם חיים כולכם היום ואתם הדבקים בה' אלוקיכם חיים כולכם היום 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 חיים כולכם היום
Beautiful.
Did you like the choir?
Beautiful. Yes.
This
Yeah.
is the technology. All the choir is me. I doubled myself in several times to create the choir. It's one of our, I think, a lot of fun to sing that. I want to move to something that is actually earlier in the Amidah. It's Chamol. And Chamol, the author of this piyut, of this poem, is actually unknown. And among all the many melodies, I chose the one that composed by a Hasidic rabbi named Akiva Hemnick. The piyut is recited in the Ashkenazi synagogue only in the Ashkenazi synagogue and not in the Sephardic one, and is built of 5 different sections, even though often it is recited as or sang only as in one tune. The truth is that these are 5 unrelated sentences, Chamol al Maasecha v'tismach b'Maasecha, etc., laid next to each other. And the first sentence, Chamol, is a remnant of an ancient poem that survived only in the custom of Poland and Rome, but today is recited by all Ashkenazi communities. The next 4 sentences appear as one unit in this order already in the medieval times in France and Germany, though earlier manuscripts show the sentences came from various sources. There's no doubt that this tune of Chamol became Rabbi Hemnick's greatest hit, but another well-known composition is Boi Veshalom from Lecha Dodi. So we're gonna now listen to Chamol. Yep, here we go.
חמול על מעשיך ותשמח במעשיך ויאמרו לך חוסך בצדקך מוסך ותשמח במעשיך ויאמרו לך חוסך בצדקך מוסך אוי 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 תוגדש אדון על כל מעשיך כי מקדישך בקדושתך קידשת נאה לקדוש פאר מקדושים תוקדש אדון על כל מעשיך כי מקדישך בקדושתך קידשת נאה לקדוש פאר מקדושים חמול על מעשיך ותשמח במעשיך בצדקך מוסך אוי 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 תוגדש אדון על כל מעשיך כי מקדישך בקדושתך קידשת נואל לקדוש נואל לקדוש פאר מקדושים תוקדש אדון על כל מעשיך כי מקדישך בקדושתך קידשת נואל לקדוש נואל לקדוש פאר מקדושים.
What a gorgeous, gorgeous melody. I just like, I always like, I just love singing that melody. Our next piece is Vahaviotim. One of the
Wow.
greatest moments in the Yamim Noaim davening is this song, composed by Avi Kratzler. It comes from chapter 56 in Isaiah, where this verse is taken, shows several elements. The first part deals with commandments between men, ben adam lachavero. Later on, the prophet talks about ben adam lamakom. The example that he gives is Shabbat. And then, in order to make sure that everybody understands it does not apply, relationship with God does not apply only to us, he talks about all the nations of the world. And this pasuk, we sing Vahaviotim, it appears also every day in the Slichot just before Shema Koleinu. And probably for a very good reason. It's a prerequisite to our turn to Hashem, saying, hear our voice in the Shema Koleinu. We say, God, hear our voice. Right? It's a prerequisite is to make sure that everybody can come to God's house, both rich and poor, religious and secular, challenged, unfortunate, etc. Chazal, by creating the order of tefillah, also teach us a very, very important lesson. Before approaching Hashem, begging for your needs, make sure it's accessible. Make sure that your house, that God's house, is accessible to anyone who wishes to seek God. A true repentance obligates us to make sure that all are welcome in our house of God. It's a very powerful lesson that I think is learned from the juxtaposition of that particular pasuk, realizing where it's coming from, the prophecy of Isaiah that precedes the Shema Koleinu. Vahaviotim is one of our favorite melodies, I think, in the shul. Yeah. And everybody jumps in. We sang it together just on Saturday night. So let's jump right into that. Number 13, yes. Yeah. Benjamin?
Vahaviotim el har kodeshi vesimachti beveit tefilati Vahaviotim קודשים ושימחתי בבית תפילתי הביא אותי אל הר קודשים ושימחתי בבית תפילתי
And I would like to end tonight's program with, of course, everybody's favorite, Avinu Malkeinu. I spoke about that a little bit, probably the most Jewish in terms of its sound melody that we have in our repertoire. By the way, it's the same idea as like the Hava Nagila. Ta-ra, ta-ra-ra, ta-ra, ti-ra-ra. Gives the same feeling of Jewishness to Hava Nagila. It's the same goes for the Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu. So before we end the program, wanted to take this opportunity and wish you all Ktiva v'Chatima Tova. I wanted to wish you all Shana Tova. I really, really hope and pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that next year is going to be a better one, a year that a cure is found and everybody will be able to go back to their life the way they want it to be. A year that everybody will enjoy success and joy and Jewish nachat from their families and their friends. And the most important, I encourage you all to sing, daven, whether you're going to be with us, whether you're going to be in a different place, whether you're going to be on your own, davening on your own. Please sing, daven out loud. I promise you, God doesn't care if you can carry a tune or not. God doesn't care if you're going to be flat or not. Your prayers going to go directly where they need to go if your tefillah is going to be sincere. That's all HaKadosh Baruch Hu asks us. That's all we need to do. And I hope and I pray that all our tefillot are going to go mala mala into Kisei HaKavod and be heard by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, granting us a year of life, a good year. And I'm looking forward to connect with all of you after Rosh Hashanah. Some of you I'm going to see during Rosh Hashanah, but after Rosh Hashanah, we're going to have another program like that with the melodies of Yom Kippur. Hopefully we're not going to have technical difficulties that time. And so I'm looking forward to celebrate with you. Want to hear how was your Rosh Hashanah. And in the meantime, this is Avinu Malkeinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu masim. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu וחסד, עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, והושיענו. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, והושיענו. אבינו מלכנו, חוננו בנינו. אבינו מלכנו, חוננו בנינו, כי אין בנו מעשים. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, והושיענו. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, והושיענו.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
תודה רבה, יפה מאוד.
Great.
Beautiful.
Thank you. If I can ask everybody to unmute themselves.
שנה טובה.
תודה רבה.
שנה טובה.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Everybody, Shana Tova.
שבוע מוצלח יש לך.
Wonderful. Thank you.
תודה.
Look forward to connect with you soon, seeing you soon.
Amen.
Be well.
You too.
You too. Be safe.
How can we get this on how can we get the whole thing on our computers? Can we get this?
I don't think
Yes,
it's too
we
late.
can. Bill,
That would be beautiful if you could
Bill,
do that.
Bill, I'm sending you that stuff right now.
I love you.
Ari,
Yes.
can you do it for me as well, Dennis and Myra?
Of course.
Thank you.
How about all of us?
And kola kavod for a lovely evening.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
אני מסכימה.
גם לגבי.
Thank you.
Got it. Okay.
Thank
I
you.
love the Malafskis with you. Or you with the Malafskis.
חזן נהדר,
Beautiful.
לבסקי.
No, but our Khazan is beauty, wonderful.
The best.
Yeah.
The best.
Yes, yes. And a great teacher too, I must say.
Did a great job in the slichot.
Very
Good job.
Thank you. Kol hakavod.
Thank you.
Please send it to all of us. Thank you.
music.
Okay. If you're going to stay on the chat for a minute, I can send it to you.
Okay.
But otherwise, I'm gonna lose everybody's. So just give me a second.
Send it through the shul.
Exactly, it's through the shul.
Shul has our email.
I know, but I'm not gonna remember everybody.
Send it through the shul, and whoever wants it can get it.
So the easiest, guys, is to go to the shul website. You go to the shul website, it's bethjacob.org, and then the tab on the left is called Praise Us. You click on that and go all the way to the bottom. You see High Holiday Tefillah videos. You click on that, and this is where you're gonna see everything.